All
All
right,
right.
here we are. It is December 12th, 2024, with
Will Chang.
my dear friend for decades, and we're going to be talking about ecstatic aging. What a perfect specimen for that. And I'm Beverly Brunelle, co-author of Ecstatic Aging, and this is part of the prep for the book that Philip and I are co-creating. So I have some questions for you, my friend.
All right.
Let's start with the idea of ecstatic aging. What does that mean to you, ecstatic aging? How do you relate to that idea?
I think it's looking at the aging process with a sort of positive and enthusiasm and an eye for, I think, the beauty of life that we can appreciate more at this time of our years. Yeah, I think
And
that's a good start.
I love that. And has your idea of aging changed over the years?
I certainly think so. I mean, here I am at 76, and I really can't believe it. It doesn't feel like it. And I don't think I mean, we have perceptions of age when we look at our parents, right? But when we get to our parents' age and beyond, we're becoming grandparents at this stage, then that certainly does mark our time. So we have so much more of life to look at, to compare to, and to appreciate. I think appreciation of one's lifetime is very much a part of ecstatic aging
Mm.
because it gives you a base, it gives you something to draw on. It's part of your legacy. It's um, it's it's who you become at this point when you put the sum total of all your years together.
Do you feel like you've landed, or do you feel like you're still becoming?
I I'm at a stage where I'm still becoming. There's a lot more that I want to do, but I realize that at the same time as I'm becoming, I'm really the sum total of what I've been.
Right.
So so knowing where I come from allows me to present that in my next being. Because I think that's all that I can really be is just myself, right? And so, but it's a stage, it's a reflection and assessment and a refinement to bring forward those aspects that you want to amplify, emphasize, and really lean on, I believe.
That's an interesting term, lean on.
Well, yeah, you kind of, put more of your energy into that particular direction, right? So you
Has
kind of push.
has your leaning changed on what you're leaning on over time?
Um, Not really. I think it comes back down to what I feel comfortable with. It's an acceptance of oneself. Um, yeah, I think that I find that I'm not going to change myself drastically, but it's really more of an acceptance of oneself. And, that you come home to yourself more and you ground yourself in that. So it's really fitting your skin in a whole complete way.
Yeah, that word complete. Yeah,
Yeah,
that feels good, doesn't it? Yeah.
definitely.
Did you have images of, like you mentioned, your parents, and your mom died like just before her 100th birthday, if I remember correctly.
Right,
So
right.
you've got major longevity. Has your idea of perceptions of aging changed over the years, like say from your teenagehood and on up, how you saw it, how you perceived it?
I'm finding that I'm still vital at 76, engaged. Um, I think that's different than my perception of what it would be for an elder person back then when I was much younger,
Yeah, that's what I'm
right?
curious about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think but the baby boomers as we are tend to be much more active anyway. I think it's just part and parcel of the way we thought of ourselves um, as way showers, as explorers, adventurers. I think we did a lot of that in our early years. After all, we broke the mold, right?
Good point.
And we went out there and explored all these things. So I would say that as a baby boomer in our 70s now, we're looking for new horizons in that way. And we're not willing to accept the status quo as one would think that, oh, you're retired now and you should just be quiet. I think that's not in our DNA.
Two things pop up as you're talking. Um, are you still working? And what have you been doing? And do you consider yourself a rebel in some way?
Hmm. Um, I think maybe not as um, not as what's the word, severe or not as much of a rebel. I think more of the middle way. And yes, I'm still working, and it's it's good.
Yeah,
I think
good.
it's good to be working. I think it's good to be involved in the mainstream because that's always the fear of being out of and being pushed to the side and yeah, being forgotten.
Yeah, good one. That's a good one. What has helped you find or create or generate or lean into joy, pleasure, delight, curiosity in life? Can you relate to any of that in your journey?
Well, I mean, for me at this stage, I am most um, thankful or excited is that I've become a musician. I've learned to play an instrument and I have a band and we play music together and it's the most fascinating, wonderful thing. I think everybody should learn to be a musician. I'm so sorry that they've taken it out of the schools so that children don't have the opportunity to really develop that part of their selves. I mean, it's really magical to be able to make music together. It's a fantastic thing,
Yeah.
and that keeps me young. That nourishes me. That charges my batteries. It you talk about ecstatic. You know, when you were singing together, when hitting the right notes, and it's just we're in a different zone. You
I
can't.
wonder, go ahead.
I mean, to be able to create that, to be able to be part of that, I mean, that gives you the juice of life, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm hearing about community sharing something in common that has movement in it. And if I remember correctly, didn't you also join a men's chorus? I'll call it late in life. Like you didn't sing before you joined the chorus or something to that effect?
Yeah, I mean, that was like 15 years ago. So I was not young when I started with chorus. And and that did open up a whole new dimension for me. That whole performing, that losing yourself in a group and singing in unison with everyone or even in harmony, but that kind of group activity, that one voice is again that's very powerful. Yes.
And if I remember correctly, also, you started like when you were 60 or so, but didn't you soon get to the status of doing a solo, if I can remember correctly?
Well, the amazing thing was I went into the studio. A friend of mine has a recording studio, and he was really great in helping me develop my singing, my performing skills. And that was a powerful initiation. And for one to discover their voice, I think that's really important for anyone, is to really develop their voice, to find their voice. And in singing, it's a very safe way of bringing forward yourself because the words are there, the music is there. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to create anything else, but just to sing the song. That's why I think it's great to just cover someone else's songs. That's why we have so much fun in growing up in these hootenannies and things like that we had back then, where we all knew the songs and we all sang the same songs, and you felt happy being able to express yourself that way. You lose yourself that way. And
Hmm.
I think that's really an important thing to do. So I would say, yeah, teach kids to sing, let them and encourage them to sing. And what I see on Facebook these days with all these video clips, right? These reels that they have on TikTok and whatnot, all of these kids are there performing for the camera. And it's really changed. I mean, it's amazing how talented they are. It's just absolutely mind blowing. So that is exciting.
That's cool. I like that how you're tying in the generations because that was one of my questions. Like, if you had some words, not if, what words of wisdom do you have? You've already said a bunch of them for the younger generations in terms of, life coming, getting older, um, and what would support them in ways that perhaps you weren't supported, and how do you wish you were supported when you were younger?
I think there are many basic tools that many people are not given at the right age. And while the confidence building, the responsibility, the manners, all of that needs to be inculcated early when they're like in junior high so that they can practice these behaviors and become better citizens with one another, then they'll have skills and they'll have confidence and they'll have an ability to survive, to thrive, to know how to interact in community. I think we need to really focus on that.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Well, what kind of practice? You've got the music, you've got the singing and the ukulele. What other practices do you have? And I know you're absolute center, that bring joy and pleasure to your day.
Well, I think an important, very, very important practice for everyone is finding silent stillness. I think when you find silent stillness and you come to equilibrium, then you can replenish yourself. You can revitalize yourself. You just stop, empty out the mind, empty out all of that, and just breathe. Breathe into that natural primal breath, which is in your belly, and sit in your seat of sovereignty and be supreme. Just, quietly holding that space, breathing, letting go of all the stress and letting go of all the problems and all the noise. You'll be amazed how that how that refreshes you and how we really need that to to neutralize the day, to just bring it back down and come back to zero and allow that kind of peace within that to really, really work, just really work. I mean, we're out running all the time the moment we get up to the end of the day. But if we took some time to recalibrate, to just come to zero, to come to equilibrium, we'll have much more room. We have much more room than for the beauty and for the good to come.
Just as you're talking, I can feel that happening, that oneness coming into the center. And you have had a center for years, and it's the absolute center.
Can't get lost if you're in the absolute center.
Ah, let's see. What characteristics would you say have helped you, like qualities have helped you to navigate through the last era of your life, and that you're counting on now as well to navigate into the mystery?
What I am very enthusiastic about bringing forward is the practice of the spirit of aloha. I think if we can all understand and appreciate and begin to practice what the true meaning of aloha is, then I think we would all benefit as a whole. Now, aloha is in the native Hawaiian, actually, alo in the presence of ha, the divine breath.
Mm.
So when I say aloha in greeting, I'm saying, we're in the presence of divine breath. We share that. And that's where the divine spirit enters into us. And then we are that divine spirit. You notice when the breath leaves the body is when you die, right? So the true essence of life is that breath. So when we can understand that and nurture that and let that guide us, then we're in harmony with the universe. Now, the native Hawaiians really looked at aloha as a combination of values that they would practice. Aloha, A for akahai, which is kindness. So you look at your relationship, everything is relationship. So if you come forward with kindness, then that sets it on a very good, basis. And then L is for lokahi. Lokahi is the unity of all. We're all in it together. So kindness, we're all together. And then olu olu. Olu olu is pleasantness, agreeable. So we're here to cooperate. We're here to work together. And we bring a pleasant and agreeable attitude toward the relationship. And then H is for ha'a'a, which is humility, emptiness, to be empty without an ego. Just to be, again, you're bringing pleasantness. We're all in together and kindness. So without the ego being in the way, all things will work together.
Mm.
And the last A is ha'anui. Ha'anui is to be patient, to persevere with patience, to wait for the right moment to act.
Mm.
So when we can conduct our affairs and our relationships in this spirit of aloha, we're bringing really wonderful ways to the table. So that's what I feel is so, for me, it's coming back to my roots and I can come full circle and I can carry this forward.
Mm.
Because we must remember what you learn on an island is that you can't run away. You have to face whatever it is there. And that's why it's important to know and to conduct yourself with this attitude, with this kind of parameters in mind. So that would be the spirit of aloha. It's actually the law in Hawaii.
Is the law?
It's the law. I'll tell you. One day my cousin came to visit me at the Absolute Center, and I told him, well, I've consolidated all of my teachings under the Tao of Aloha. And he goes, well, there are a lot of meanings for aloha. Let me tell you a story. I was working one night and I get a phone call, and it's from Alvin Shim, who is this old time lawyer who's pretty much been the mentor to all of these young lawyers in Hawaii. And he said, Tony, can I come and see you? And Tony said, sure. And he said, I got some business I want you to take care of for me. So Tony's thinking, well, there's some kind of little deal that he's cooked up for one of his clients. So Tony's a senator there in Hawaii. And so he comes to his office and then he gives him this envelope. I want you to introduce this. And he opens it up and it surprises him because what it says is the spirit of aloha law. And it goes right down. And these were the writings, the teachings of Auntie Pilahi Pake, who was the keeper of the secrets. And so she had passed in 85, and this was in 86. So, in memory of her, that's what he was doing to bring this forward and to incorporate it into state law. And that's how it became the law. So I
Wow.
feel very much like I'm carrying lineage at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I mean, I lived there for 2 years and I never heard that. And I've never seen that since with all my visits
Ah,
back. So this needs to be out and about for the whole world to know, right? I mean,
well,
this is,
that's what Auntie Pili was saying, that one day, this is back in 1970 at the governor's conference for Hawaii 2000. And at the end of the conference, she went up to speak and said that one day the world will be in conflict and in chaos, and aloha will help save the world.
oh, let it be so.
And we are in those times.
Yeah. Whew. Wow.
So that's what makes me ecstatic.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And everything you're saying is related to the past, the present, and the future. It's like you're talking to the younger generations, you're talking to us now, you're talking from the future. I mean, it's like you're just the absolute center is very broad, as it were, is very encompassing, is very inclusive. And I can feel the transmission, and I'm really grateful. Yeah. Um,
the the absolute center is, I had a inspiration when I was having to change my email address. And it came to me that I am at the absolute center would be the ideal place to be because I couldn't get lost. And so I was very lucky to be able to get the website and therefore create my email address. I am at the absolute center. But it's really a mantra. And what it says is that when I am at the absolute center, I have to accept the totality of the universe, both known and unknown, for it to be absolute. So, but the only way that I can contain all of that is not within my mind, because it just blows your mind to have to, grab everything and stretch yourself to contain all of that. The only way you can do that is in your heart. Your heart can embrace the universe in its totality, just as it is, just like God does it. And therefore, when you do that and everything is equal, you are therefore then at the absolute center.
Mm, mm.
And it's yours and yours alone.
Is this what gets you up in the morning? Do you go there? Do you go there right away? Do you hear a small, significant voice going, "Aloha"?
Aloha is good. So yeah, that's
Wow. Well, let me just cruise through some of these questions that we've got preconditioned here. Let's see if there's anything. I feel like you've covered it all. Your inspiration, playfulness, simple moments, profound moments, habits. Do you have any habits that you would want to, that you haven't said yet, that are add to your joy and pleasure and ecstasy of aging or help you navigate? Is there any, you've got a lot going on.
like I said, I think the main thing is really that coming back to equilibrium. I think that, again, because like you say, there's so many things that are happening and life comes at you. The the ability to return back to that silent stillness,
Mm,
that's a lifesaver.
it is.
So I would
At any
highly
age, right? At any
any
age.
age. It's the fulcrum point. So yeah.
I am honored by this time with you, as always. You are full and overflowing with wisdom, as always. So I'm going to stop this. Thank you, and I'm going to stop the recording now.